you have, a case study, but I'm gonna give you like the step-by-step on how we create that because we don't have a whole lot right now. See these guys? See all those guys down there? Pretty happy with themselves right now. Just graduated. You know what they don't know? They don't know what's going on in here right now, right? Or they'd be sad.
Okay, so I don't talk about this publicly a whole lot, but I get a handful of one-on-one consulting clients that I work with, and almost every single time I start working with a new client of mine, they struggle with the same issue, and that's that mental battle of comparing yourself to others. A lot of the people that I begin working with, maybe they have a couple clients, maybe they don't, maybe they're just getting started, but they're all in on this vision of becoming a successful entrepreneur and living life on their own terms. And they're seeing other people on social media who have already achieved that, who are making $10, $20, $30, $40, $100,000 a month and are 10 steps ahead of them. Sometimes they even know people in their close circle who have these same goals as them, but are doing so much better, and it's really bothering them. It's getting into their head, it's getting into their skin, it's slowing them down, it's making them insecure, and eventually it's throttling the progress that they're making within their own journeys. Now, in about 30 to 45 minutes, every single time I'm able to completely change their perspective on this whole idea, eliminate that mental chatter, and relentlessly pursue that success that they are now pursuing. So what I'm gonna do for you guys is I'm gonna deliver those same perspective shifts so you can stop the negative emotions that come with comparing yourselves to others and double down on your own life. All right, so step number one, in order to get rid of this mental chatter and this negative emotions that come when we compare ourselves to others, is to understand that most of the people that you're comparing yourself to are playing a different game. For example, let's say you're a university student, like these guys down there, and you see entrepreneurs and they're making money and they got a successful business, but those people aren't students. And when you see those entrepreneurs who are going full-time in their business and are working 12 hours a day, you have to realize that they are playing a different game than you. They're not playing the game of the student entrepreneur game. They're playing the entrepreneur and only entrepreneur game. Now, even within the entrepreneur game, let's say you are a full-time entrepreneur and you're comparing yourself to other entrepreneurs. You have to realize that within the game of entrepreneurship, people are still playing different games. Some entrepreneurs are just chasing freedom. Some entrepreneurs are just chasing money and working 80 hours a week because of it. So if you're somebody who really just got into entrepreneurship because they want that freedom, they want to be able to do whatever they want and live life on their own terms, and you're comparing yourself to somebody who makes 6 figures a month but works 90 hours a week, that makes no sense because you have different life objections. So the first thing you need to do is identify the game you are playing. So in order to do that, you need to first audit the structure and how your life currently is. What do you have going on? What's your family situation? What's your work situation? And all this kind of stuff. And then the second thing you need to do is develop what your goal is. So then you can label yourself as a student entrepreneur with the goal of doing good in school and having a business, or a full-time entrepreneur who doesn't care about school and wants to make $100K a month. Now, once you've got real clear and identified your current situation and your current goals and the current game that you are playing, you're not going to be worried about what people playing different games are doing, where they're at with their life. For example, LeBron James is not sitting around and comparing himself to Connor McDavid because they are playing different games, and that same rule should apply to you. Okay, so now that you've gotten clear and you've identified the game that you are playing, the second thing you must do, and you're probably not going to want to hear this if you're watching this video, and it really goes against the narrative that's being pushed in today's society, but that is you need to embrace the comparison. And here's why. If you're somebody who has the thought of comparing yourself to others and looking at others' success, and that brings you negative emotions, that right there tells me you are competitive, which is a good thing. Because no matter what it is that you are doing in your life, whether you're running, you're in the gym, you're building a business, you're going to school, if you find yourself competing against others, you're going to put forth more effort and as a result have a better result than if you were just doing this alone. And so when you see people and you've identified them as playing the exact same game as you, and they're beating you. That should fire you up to compete against them, because if somebody's playing the same game as you and you're getting beat, just like in hockey or soccer or football or any other sport, the worst thing that you could possibly do is tell yourself that you suck and get down and feel like you're never gonna win, because as soon as you do that, you've lost the game. Now, in today's world, despite the narrative that society pushes a lot, the competitive person is going to get more out of life than the non-competitive person. People that you look up to, they didn't get there by handing participation trophies. So when you identify these people that are playing the same game as you, you need to look at that as if you're competing with them in any other event and do whatever it takes to beat them out. Now, maybe you're in a situation where you have nobody to compete against. Everybody that you know, talk to, associate with, and hang out with isn't trying to do what you're trying to do, and therefore you have no real incentive to go that extra mile. And if that's the case, what I would recommend you do is click the link below. My friend Patrick O'Driscoll and I, who's a successful entrepreneur, have created a free community for all of these people who are just like us, young, ambitious, want to make it, want to be successful. Perhaps we're struggling with a couple things, and that's why we have a bunch of people in there who I can almost guarantee have encountered and been through almost every single struggle that you are facing right now, and are willing to provide you that advice so you can get to the next level and beat out your competition.